Hi guys, it's Main here, back again with another video. Today, sorry for the no clap, I have cat in my arms. I wanted to make two videos, kind of going over things. So to give you guys context, I've been out for the past 3 days. So when World 7 launched, I was able to play on launch. And then since then I've been out at a wedding. So the entire weekend I've been gone. I've been keeping up here and there with the... Get out of there. Get out of there, please. I've been keeping up with the issues that have popped up over the past few days. I mean, it's a new world launch, so we expect there to be some bugs, some problems, stuff that needs fixing. That's kind of natural with any video game. However, there's been some game-breaking bugs that have since been fixed, thankfully. But there were some things on launch that were concerning that they weren't immediately caught when developing World 7, considering that it's such a fundamental part of the game. And of course, I'm talking about Class EXP. So Class EXP, if for those of you who aren't in the know, has been significantly boosted with World 7. I've seen people with like 3.2 billion Class EXP. I'm hitting level 1000 on my DK. I have a level 1000 Arcane Cultist here. A lot of my characters are almost minimum 900, with the exception of my V-Man, because I haven't done any fighting on my V-Man. So once I kill a crystal mob, things are going to explode. So Class EXP has, without a doubt, just exploded with World 7. There are some cards that give just straight up Class EXP multi. There are, I think, there's various mechanics. I think Spelunking, I truthfully, World 7 is so expansive in content that it's really difficult for me to keep track of where I'm getting all of this Class EXP multi. I think obviously the biggest one being the Pet Companion, giving you straight up 10x multi to Class EXP and then 10 Legend Talent points, which is cool. But that's a lot of Class EXP. That on top of the fact name tags are getting boosted, the fact that trophies are now passive, with the kind of passive with the trophy like case system that we have, with I guess I don't know what other stuff out there. Again, there's so many mechanics, it's really hard to keep track of all the Class EXP multi, since we've gone from essentially overnight like 2 mil Class EXP to 3.2 billion from what I've seen, like 20 mil, whatever. So it's been insane. It's been without a doubt insane. Stack that on top of the fact that we have obviously mobs in World 7 naturally have higher Class EXP than World 6 mobs. Crystal mobs give a lot more EXP. There's new cards that give passive Class EXP multi. I think they give passive Class EXP multi. There's also card multipliers, so cards don't give a lot more like bonus. So if you are using those monster EXP will activate getting a lot more. Anyways, the whole point of this I'm saying is that Class EXP has absolutely shot up through the roof. And with that, the most fundamental aspect of Idleon has always been unlocking your 11th and 12th characters, because that is what has always been kind of in people's minds about what's possible. Is there going to be 11th and 12th character? And indeed, there are plans to make an 11th and 12th character. However, there was a huge oversight when releasing World 7, where all this Class EXP multi was introduced to the game. However, those characters still had their account level locks at 9,999. So when you got your account level to 9,999, you should be able to actually unlock those characters. Now, disclaimer, I'm actually unaware of what happened in this time, because I was gone. I wasn't keeping up fully with the information. I had bits and pieces from people here and there throughout the Discord. And frankly, a lot of people were afraid to even do this. So I'm going to enter this explanation with a little bit of a disclaimer. Number one, this has been patched already. So this issue is no longer a problem. It was addressed already. However, I think it's worth bringing up because I think this highlights a problem in Idleon's developmental cycle. I think there's, again, not a lot of testing going on behind the scenes about, these bonuses are being introduced, but not a lot of QAs being done into the impacts that these bonuses actually provide or have on the effect it has on the game. That's the word I'm looking for. Regardless of whether or not there was QA, I don't think it was good QA because characters are such a fundamental aspect of Idleon. And the first thing I think of when I see like a huge Class EXP thing is 11th and 12th characters, because it's always been a thing, and the account lock has always been 9,999, and it's always been a meme trying to unlock the 11th and 12th characters. So naturally in my mind, all this Class EXP multi, I'm thinking, oh, surely we'll be able to get them, right? And of course, people are able to get them at, you know, when they hit account level 10,000. So they're able to unlock it. That was the problem. However, the game was not ready for characters 11 and 12. I've heard mixed reports about what happened on the days people started to get this, but I've seen several Reddit posts about it. And I also have some information from from the wiki guy, Sheepy, code digging into this about what happened in the background when you hit class level or account level 10,000. So people were able to make characters 11 and 12. As for whether they were able to play it, it's uncertain. Actually, I'm uncertain based off the reports that people were actually able to log into the character and play it. I've heard from, I think I saw Hot Air in the Discord actually talk about, well, number one, you shouldn't do this. And number two, there was a bug where some of the names were taken. So if you try to make an 11th character, it would say names currently taken no matter what name you picked. And it wouldn't let you create the character, or let you create the character but wouldn't let you log into it. However, this bug didn't extend to characters 11 and 12. In fact, if you hit class level 10,000, you were able to unlock characters 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. Only when you hit character 29 did the account level requirement jump to, I think it was 6,000, or sorry, 60,000 or whatever. Let me double check that real quick. Sheepy's Code Corner. Let's see. So character, 6E3, 7E3, 8E3, 9E3, 1E4, 12,500. So hold on. Did you actually make more characters than that? Brother, I have no idea. So there was a huge fucking mess internally, code-wise, about what happens when you reach account level 10,000. Obviously, as you saw on the character screen, that's since been changed. The account level requirement has jumped up to 100,000. So that's, in my opinion, a very band-aid fix, and it's prone to the same errors that we're going to encounter that we did before. So obviously, we're not going to hit 100,000 class level, but if more class EXP multi gets added to the game to the power of, like, I don't know, E26 class EXP multi, we're probably going to hit that. But again, that's pipe dream down the line. It's a good band-aid fix for now while the problem's actually addressed in the future. But man, that was such a massive bug. And what happened if you actually got those characters? So again, some people weren't even able to log into the characters. Some people weren't even able to create the characters. Some people I've seen were just unable to play the game because they created so many characters that the game just completely broke and you weren't able to do anything. I saw screenshots of people with their lab screen open with, you know, the like amount of people in there being 12. And then some people were just like white screening. Some people weren't even able to log into the account. These things are so buried in the Idleon chat because, again, I've been gone for 3 days. I can't actually pull it up. But I guess I can show, you know, the Sheepy information. Spoilers, this has a little bit of code digging. So be that for what it may. Here's the kind of character level requirements. These again were fixed since November 7. But if you had account level 10,000, you're able to create up to 28 characters. And here are the class level requirements for all those characters. Count level requirements for all those characters. So account level of 10,000, then 6E3. So it's at 6 with 3 zeros after 6,000. That feels wrong. That somehow feels wrong to me, because why is 6E3 here instead? Maybe I'm reading it that wrong. Maybe it's supposed to be 60,000. I don't know. But then it's like 12,500 here. I don't understand. So anyways, big bug. There are a bunch of internal game limit changes about what were the shadow ban limits. So if your character level's now above 2,000, you can get shadow banned. If your stats are now 1 billion instead of 10 million, you can get banned. If you have gems like in your account totaling 250,000, you can get shadow banned. You know, these are like small side stuff things to talk about. So let me see if I can actually find character 11. Let's see if anyone has as we do not get them. It's okay. Time for crash video for crystal mobs. Nope. 11th character maybe. There was someone in here that put screenshots about their lab being absolutely destroyed because of it. Okay, so taking with the lads. Yeah, there's apparently they were playable. So again, mixed information about whether you could actually play the characters, what actually happened. Anyways, the advice I tried during my time out, go on Reddit to kind of tell people not to do it, primarily because Hot Air had issued a warning in the Discord saying not to do it. I don't know what happened to those people that did actually create those 11, 12 characters. I'd imagine they just got deleted, the characters, not the account, obviously. I would imagine that happened just to protect the people from potential bugs encountered, since the game currently, well, it should be able to support 12 characters, but definitely not 28. That's crazy. So yeah, I mean, whole character level aside, that was a huge fiasco. Potential disaster for the game. I hope it was able to be rolled back, but just issue for the future, when adding such significant multipliers to the game, it's worth taking a look at what the multipliers affect. Specifically, when it comes to class EXP, what does character levels do? Number one, to give you talent points. So is there a problem with the balancing of master classes, since you are able to get so many more talent points because of the amount of class EXP we're getting? People are hitting 900,000 of Deathbringer, of Arcane Cultist, of Windwalker. Is the balancing there a problem? Maybe that's something to look at. I'm not saying it needs to. I'm just saying that's probably something worth considering. And then, obviously with account levels, is that a problem? Is there going to be any issue with obols? Because I remember those having a lock requirement for account levels. So was there any issue, or is there any concern about obols being fucked in the future because the amount of account levels that go into it? I don't know the code of Idleon, so I don't know the answer to that. I'm just kind of speculating things. Take it for what you will, but everything that's account level focused, I'd probably take a look at and consider if there's any bugs with it. Additionally, moving away from class EXP, what other things do we find out that were bugged or had issues with on World 7 launch? Number one, well, I guess this is now number two because we already talked about class EXP, is the statue here, Spelunky statue. This statue actually does not work. It does not work. It doesn't give you any Spelunking EXP. If I go ahead and deposit some statues, I'm going to go deposit 10,000 because that is a lot. You'll see here my EXP multi is 976.67. I go ahead and deposit the 10,000 statues here. It goes up to level 111. If I cloud save, go back to the character, log back in, go to skill info, it's still 976.67. So this statue is broken. It doesn't do anything. Again, I would still recommend getting it to Onyx because it's another Onyx statue, and Onyx statues are great. And voila, boom, bing bang, mazel, whatever. You need it anyways. So good idea to do it, but it's just bugged. It doesn't do anything. The only real way to scale Spelunking EXP is actually through gold food right now. In addition to, I guess there's vials, there's meals, and there are stamps, and one other thing I can't remember, but gold food is a great one. So there's obviously a new golden food, the saltwater taffy. This gives Spelunking EXP. If you have a lot of gold food effect, this is a significant amount of EXP multi. Also golden ham gives the EXP for this as well. So these two kind of are pretty nice to help give you a lot of EXP. As for the Spelunking efficiency, a lot of that's going to come through just progressing the Spelunking mechanic, getting a little bit more used to it, unlocking more of the scrolls, the chapters, the lore chapters for the game. For the mini game mode, whatever the active component of it, trying to consume them. There's different breakpoints for those chapters and trying to get it. So you can get bonuses in there, such as chapters. You get base Spelunking efficiency, total Spelunking efficiency, more EXP gain, stuff like that. There's different breakpoints about how many chapters you need to consume in order to get to the 3rd tier or 4th tier of the lore chapter. So you can get more than 2nd tier. You need to consume, I think, around like 2,500 or so for the 2nd tier and like 10,000 or something for the 3rd tier. You're not guaranteed to get it. It just unlocks the chance for you to get it. Whatever. Let's see, what else? What other issues have there been on launch? Oh yeah, there is a big portal bug with World 7. So I'll go ahead and spoil this. Again, spoilers ahead abound for you guys. So this item right here is actually a key to unlocking a name tag, a new name tag. It is a very difficult challenge, or rather it should be a difficult challenge to actually complete this. Basically, the whole premise of this is, you see my map here. I progressed up to, this map right here, middle of nowhere. I can teleport there freely, but once I buy this, I have to go through the maps individually, kill 60 mobs within 60 seconds, And my goal is to progress to the last map here in this little cove, the one to the right of Pinpoint Summit. Okay, so that's the goal. With this in your inventory, you can't teleport, you can't move around, you can't keep it in storage. You have to keep it on your character and have to walk through the maps and kill the mobs, 60 mobs within 60 seconds. Okay, that's the goal. If you can't do that, you can't complete the challenge, you can't get the name tag. However, there is a bug because this last map for World 7 has a 1 billion kill requirement with a 6-player lock. So you need to actually kill 6 billion mobs in order to unlock that last map. However, there is a bug that has been in the game, or was in the game back in World 6 launch. Back in World 6 launch, where if you cleared the lock on one character, you could just press W up into the portal to actually bypass it. Now, you can't do that here. Just, letting you know that off the bat, you can't just bypass the lock requirement and just press W and go through the portal. However, what this reliquarium does is it artificially deflates the portal requirements to these 60 mobs that you kill within the 60-second requirement. So long as you have unlocked the portal on the character and you kill 60 mobs in 60 seconds, you can actually just go through the lock without having to kill the other 1 billion kills on 5 other characters. So this is incredibly fucking dumb for whatever reason, and this name tag is by far the most busted thing in this game. It gives you a 20% drop rate multi and 20% AFK gain multi. Okay, I can't complete this challenge yet because I'm not at the last map, and I'm not going to bug abuse and get to the last portal because obviously I need the 6 billion kills. I'm not going to bug abuse to do that shit because that's insane. So yeah. Again, with how name tags are, with the gallery bonus, giving you 5 of them, giving you 250% of that bonus. What is 2.5 times 20% for drop rate multi and AFK gains? It's by far the most insane name tag and the most accessible name tag in this game. It's free to play. It just sucks that the day one bug of this shit was abused by a lot of people to the point people are now hitting 100 million golden cakes with how much drop rate and AFK gain multi that they have. I imagine people will soon be able to, in the next few months, probably be able to get to level 13 Perlo Shell Vial or Hamter Vial. That's insane, unheard of. And the level of player power that we've gotten in this update is mind-boggling to say the least. And I'm not discouraging that by any means. I just think it's worth taking a look, or taking a retrospective look at what this is doing to Idleon and making balancing this game incredibly difficult going forward. The amount of player creep that World 7 has introduced is astonishing to say the least. Yeah. So that's the Reliquarium name tag. That is account level 10,000. Sorry for hitting the mic. Account level 10,000 says 2 big things that we talked about. Anything else to really talk about? Well, legend talents, you can't really reset these, but super talents you can. So if you have a talent that's supered, you can actually use a talent point reset potion to reset it. But you need to re-level all your talents, of course, so that's a big pain. If you aren't familiar with the talent reset potions, because people have often forgotten about this, I'm trying to find it myself in my inventory. It is this item right here. I'll just drag this whole thing out. It's these little fragments. You usually get these from World 1 crystal mobs, or I think World 2 as well. Most of the crystal mobs have these. You just get 10 of these, and you just click and hold, and you make these talent reset potions. Nothing special. That's all you need, and then it'll reset it. I personally don't want to do that because I don't want to have to sit here and click max all on all these talents once again. Cool. Okay, there's that. What else? Oh yeah, obviously DK. DK is a big thing to talk about, and then we'll transition to crystal mobs because that's also a big thing to talk about. So DK Orb has gotten a number of changes since World 7. When it got released, it seems like there was a big overlap between the orbs. So no longer is it a good idea to actually go through and max your orb. You're actually hurting your progress if you are max leveling your orb. So do not super talent the orb, in my opinion, just because the max optimal breakpoint, assuming you have the post office box maxed out for cooldown reduction, this one right here, mana box, this one for cooldown reduction, getting your orb to around what I've heard between 285 and 292. I think 292 might be fine. I need to do some testing myself. Getting it to 292 is a great breakpoint because it exactly matches the duration the orb is put down to the cooldown of the orb. So putting it down here has 146 seconds. It should disappear after that 147 seconds, and then that new orb you put down will kind of start brand new. So the issue with DK Orb on release is when you place down the orb and it goes for the full duration, there's a little bit of overlap between the cooldown where it'll place another orb down. So you have a period of a set amount of time where you have 2 orbs up. However, when you place a new orb down, it resets the first orb. And then when that first orb expires, it resets the second orb. So while you have these 2 orbs up, you're effectively losing out on all of that time for DK Orb to stack because they're going to reset themselves. So it's not a good idea to have the orbs overlap. So you want to purposely de-level your orb to a level that matches the cooldown, that matches the duration to the cooldown. Right now, that's around 292. Okay, with the post office box maxed. If you don't have the post office box maxed, which you should, by the way, it's still beneficial to you to do that because it'll decrease the cooldown for like Nightly Disciple, for the Mega Boomerang, for your slash talents and stuff like that, right? So it's really this talent right here. So it's good and important to do that. However, you know, not having the post office box maxed actually would allow you to put the orb a little bit higher until this hits 150 seconds, which is a little bit still detrimental to you, mind you. Because orb now through a hotfix caps at 150 seconds. I can continue maxing this talent out and it'll say it'll go beyond 150 seconds, but the hard cap for orb now lasts 150 seconds. So no matter what level you put DK orb, it's going to cap out there. So don't level it past 292. It's hurting your game progress if you do that. It's not beneficial to you at all. Big L on DK because this means we can't hit like insane DK numbers, orb numbers that we were before in World 6. If you remember, Mini 2 Spirits were hitting like 17, 1800, maybe even 2000 at some point because the duration on it lasted a while. And there wasn't a bug where once the cooldown was off on orb, it would immediately place it down. That did not exist until World 7 started again. That used to happen before, then it didn't. Now it does again. So I don't know why that was changed. And then the second thing to talk about here is crystal mobs. So crystal mobs have seen a massive revamping. Since I got back, there were 2 changes to crystal mobs. The first iteration of it was, and I will try to explain this using the patch notes that were put into the Discord, is crystal mobs, in order to reduce the amount of lag that was seen in the game, what happened was crystal mobs were now capped at a 1 in 100. This has since changed to 1 in 10, thank God. It used to be 1 in 100. So it was a 1% chance was the maximum capacity, maximum amount of time you could have for for crystal spawns. Okay, if you had anything past 1 in 100, what it would do is it'd take that additional chance and lob it into like a multi-crystal chance. So if you had a 1 in 10 chance instead, you would have a 10 times increase to the EXP and drop rate of crystal mobs. So yes, this is a 1-to-1 trade-off with crystal mobs. However, we're forgetting that this impacts 2 very important characters, 2 very important classes in terms of their efficiency. Number 1 is DK. Obviously, the sheer amount of monsters that you kill will increase the amount of drops and EXP you get because that's how the orb works. The more mobs you kill will give you that multiple EXP and drop rate multi. Okay, so DK saw a huge nerf with his 1 in 100 change. Okay, and secondly was Arcane Cultist with Cranium Cooking. Cranium Cooking took a huge hit with this because instead of hitting like a 1 in 4, 1 in 3, 1 in 2 crystal spawn chance, we're now capped at 1 in 10 is the new number. 1 in 10 chance or 10% chance to spawn a crystal mob. So we're seeing a significantly reduced amount of crystal mobs. This has kind of shifted the meta to those daily reset timer crystal mobs now as being more important, especially with the legend talent allowing you to spawn a lot of them, and with a new tier of sigils allowing us to get a lot more crystal mobs as well. That daily spawn timer, it gives us a huge flood of crystal mobs. That and chocolate chip has become way more important because of this stacking effect with getting more crystal spawn chance, allowing you to get more EXP, which means whenever you hit a crystal mob, it'll respawn that crystal mob and give you the same amount of EXP and drop rate multi. I believe that's how this works. I think that's how chocolate chip works. I actually don't know. I'm assuming that's how it works, but with this game, anything is possible, right? Cool. Okay. So what else? Oh yeah. So that being said, crystal spawn chance is still important. It's still a stat you want to push and try to achieve more of. So, you know, get your Demon Genie card to 6-star, get your Poop card to 6-star, your Giant or your Crescent Shrine, you want to level up as much as possible. Whatever sources of crystal spawn chance that you have, the crystalline talent, whatever, you want to max that out as much as possible because, again, the more crystal spawn chance you get, the more the crystal mobs will drop and give you EXP for. So it's very, very important you do that. Okay, so that being said, there's a little bit of a nerf to crystal, to cranium cooking, and a little bit of a nerf to DK gold food farming and statue farming. Now, I still think DK is good. If you follow the advice I gave earlier about stacking orb to 292, level 292 in the talent page, I think you can achieve pretty good numbers for statue farming and crystal farming. The reason this was done is mostly to deal with lag. Because we were approaching or fast approaching 1-in-1 crystal chance, so every mob we killed would spawn a crystal mob, which if you have Choco Chip, you can imagine how insane that would be and the amount of lag that would output. Now, as for actually that would happen, I don't know, but we're getting a lot of crystal spawn chance with this update because of the card multipliers with, you know, the 6-star cards and stuff. So there was a lot of crystal mob spawn chance that was pumped into the game at the onset of World 7. So this, I feel like, was a necessary update just for the longevity of the game and performance. So I'm fully behind this, despite DK getting a nerf and cranium cooking getting a nerf. I think balancing feature, this is a good idea. However, that being said, I feel like the changes to DK nerf kind of made the class feel way worse than it needs to be. And I feel like this, the change to how the duration on orb works and the cooldown of it works, I think needs some looking at, needs to be rebalanced again. Okay, so what else happened? Yes, okay, so World 1. World 1 saw a little bit of a big hit when it comes to gold food farming. So it's not golden omeches that's a problem, it's actually golden peanuts. So golden peanuts are a recipe that you get from the V-Man questline. It allows you to get a bunch of mining efficiency, okay? It's one of the gold foods you can drop the bean stack, get your character, get a lot of mining efficiency out of. However, they require hot dogs. Hot dogs removed from the drop table. They were on onset of World 7 launch, completely removed from the World 1 drop table. And the only way to get it was actually through the World 1 shop. That was it. So, and also the town vendor, or the Tiki Forest vendor, whatever. However, they have been moved to Giga Frogs and I think Woad boards. They now drop hot dogs, so it's a little bit better. But unfortunately, we aren't able to get as much hot dogs as we were before. So people who had like tens of millions of hot dogs, hundreds of millions, whatever, gotten that many on the beanstalk, you were kind of, for a little bit there, kind of soft locked or not able to get that many golden peanuts again. However, now you can like ES farm on Giga Frogs, you can ES farm on Woad boards, whatever, to get that back up and try to get more hot dogs. Again, ES farming is a little bit better. It's better than DK farming, or you can also just candy it, as most people will probably do. The hot dogs, that is. Cool. Man, there's so many things that happen. I really can't really tell. I'm gonna have to talk about the event on a different time. Overall, I think the event's cool. Again, this goes to the big issue I talked about before, being the huge FOMO aspect given to events about chasing name tags now. Of course, the next event that we have is name tag, and this name tag gives you a 1.8 times class EXP multi on top of just a flat, like what, 20% class EXP, or sorry, my apologies, a 1.25 times class EXP multi and a flat 80% EXP for monsters. I believe this is a class EXP multi, so chasing 5 name tags again is going to be a very significant increase to player power, because we're going to get more class levels, more talent levels, more account levels, whatever, right? So, you know, it's a good name tag. As for, you know, in terms of power compared to other name tags, it's no drop rate or drop chance multi, right? But again, this is a huge amount of class EXP, and how people are hitting like 3 billions of class EXP. So, you know, take it for what it's will. Take it for what it is. I wouldn't chase 5. I would try to get 1, put it on the gallery. That's about it. I wouldn't go out and spend money on this. Please, for the love of God, don't drain your bank account on this. FOMO's FOMO, pay to win's pay to win. Don't fall into the trap. Be that for what it may. What it may. It's just, you know, whatever. I'll talk about the event again in a little bit in the next video. I just want to give thoughts about day 1 issues, my thoughts about World 7 after it. I thought World 7, again, I still think it is a really good addition to the game. Obviously, it's a great expansion. I think I'm having a head rush with the amount of player power, obviously. You know, with all the balancing issues that I foresee in the future, currently it feels good. However, I do have worries about the balancing of this game in the future as it goes forward. Man, it's gonna suck to balance this game if at all possible. I imagine I would think that a prestige system is probably going to be coming in World 8 or something, because the amount of numerical increases is not something that mobile will be able to keep up, despite the changes like damage numbers, right? So be cautious. Yeah, I guess this is more of a warning for Lava. Please be cautious with this game. Again, I'm not a developer, but given how many bugs this game had on World 7 launch, I am very pessimistically optimistic about the future of World 7 and the future of Idleon, because of how expansive and how big the leap from World 6 to World 7 was in terms of player power. So thank you. Those are a lot of my initial thoughts. I'm sure I forgot about some other game break. Oh yeah, hold on real quick before we go. Pristine charms. A lot of people have been asking about Pristine charms. Yes, Pristine charms were fixed. However, big however, let's see. Oh, no bubble left behind also affects World 6 bubbles now. And the cap is now 10,000. Hell yeah. Where are we? Pristine charms, yes. So Hannah Kogs used to be one of the big guide creators for Idleon. He made like a Windwalker sheet before there was, again, more drama with Idleon. He helped data mine and find some information about Pristine charms and how they work. So yes, we are able to get Pristine charms. But if you remember, when Pristine charms were rebalanced, what it was is before the update that was supposed to make it happen like this, before it was bugged, was that you would just be able to replace a charm with a Pristine charm, just like a random chance. You replace any charm with a Pristine charm and it would drop. The fix, or what was supposed to be the fix, is you now have a higher chance at the onset of your daily reset to find a Pristine charm. It'd be like up to 10% or something like that, or up to 7%, right? So, and then every charm you find after that would count down the percent chance to find a Pristine charm. So once you find 120 Pristine charms, your chance hits 0. What the bug was before World 7 was that daily reset never occurred. So once you found 120 charms, you were no longer ever able to find Pristine charms, and it didn't reset on your daily timer. It was supposed to, so that was the bug fix. The bug fix is it now resets on your daily timer. So you were still highly unlikely to find Pristine charms. It's still a very difficult thing to do. The best thing to do is actually go to the very last floor with this funky hat and this black belt. This black belt is a charm. Again, the requirement finding Pristine charms is it turns a charm into a Pristine charm. So you need to find a charm, and then that charm needs to roll a percent chance to roll into a Pristine charm. However, there is now a huge, I guess not bug, but feature of the game, where once you unlock this pillar coral, turn off my camera for you, adds a new mini ninja knowledge upgrade leveled up with your jade. The first one, or second one, whatever, it will add this upgrade right here, strange symbols. Strange symbols are effectively a multiplier for your inventory. So you see I have different colors here. What the symbols do is it multiplies the inventory effect of your items in that slot. There's later an expansion where you can do this with character slots, so you can actually increase the amount of item find chance or stealth multi or whatever for these characters. But for the time being, once you get that first upgrade, it's strictly only the inventory slots. This really only affects gold charms. So you see here, my effect here is 1700 action speed, then it goes up to 2570, and you can level up, I think, up to 4 or 5 times, whatever. And then the second tier upgrade gives it 3420. So it's a pretty significant upgrade. However, these symbols also have a similar calculation to Pristine charms in that they replace charms. So if, say, for example, you roll a charm and it rolls into a Pristine charm, that's 7% chance or whatever, right? There's now a up to 25% chance that that charm again gets replaced by a symbol. So there's a chance that you find a Pristine charm, and then there's a chance that the Pristine charm re-rolls into a symbol, meaning you've lost a Pristine charm. So keep that in mind, that can happen. Hilarious, by the way. Absolutely fucking hilarious. That is amazing. So, a little bit of FYI about how that works now. A little unfortunate, but it's been bug fixed, so you can find Pristine charms. Again, it's still extremely low. Very unfortunate, but I wish you the best of luck getting them free to play. As always, remember, you can always get them in the gem shop at a very high price tag of 790 gems right here. So take it for what you will. Pristine charms are a pretty big increase to your account. By all means, I wouldn't you know, you can still find them free to play very painfully once a day, I guess. So good luck on that. There's also a Windwalker upgrade for Pristine Charms, so you can use that as well. So anyways, now I'm going to stop the video. Thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. I hope that was everything. I mean, it's probably not everything. Let's be 100%. Let's keep it frank. Let's keep it 50-50. There's probably a lot more things I didn't talk about, I didn't touch upon. So there's problems with World 7, needs some addressing. I worry about the future of balancing for the game and how it's going to be balanced in the future. But again, I'm still on the side. This is a W update, and I'll talk about the event in a different time. So thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.